Hey friend, what's up? So in this video, we're going to cover 6 cards that I was able to find on Twitter from the Winter Wonderland set. It looks like 2 accounts had early access and they're kind of teasing them, so I'm going to cover the cards I was able to find. I don't know how big the set will be. I assume it'll be closer to Light's Verdict, where there are 12. That being said, I don't know. But let's take a look. Okay, so the first card from the set is Avalanche Watcher. It is a 0 mana magic card, rare. Backline, roar, expend all of your available mana. This creature gains +1/+1 for each mana expended, with a 0/1 stat line. So, seems pretty strong with the amount of ramp that Control Magic has right now. Crystal Tech Scholar, which is really just, reliable. You get a 1/1 ramp echo for 1 mana after you play it. So, getting value out of this fairly early is definitely doable. I like it. I think it can be pretty strong. Maybe you don't run 2, but maybe a 1 of. I think it's interesting. It's rare, so it wouldn't be too hard to get. So next on the list is a 5 mana nature spell. Fire Tree's Fury, maybe? Deal 1 damage to the weakest enemy creature. If there are no enemy creatures, summon a 1/1 Frosty Fruit. Repeat this 4 more times. So interesting. It only does 1 damage to a creature at a time. And I'm not sure what a Frosty Fruit is, if it's similar to a Vibrant Fruit, which gives, when it dies, its afterlife is give a creature +1/+1, a friendly creature. I think it might be the strongest. I'm pretty sure it's the strongest. There's also Walking Plant, which is a 1/1, and that heals your god 4. So I feel like the upside of this Frosty Fruit is going to be pretty good. It only targets enemy creatures, which is nice. And so, like, I don't know what the Frosty Fruit is, and dealing 1 damage 5 times could be pretty bad. I personally think it's a tiny bit underwhelming, but then again, I don't know what a Frosty Fruit is, so we'll have to see. 5 mana is kind of a lot to deal 5 damage. Well, okay, the Hunt does 8 and it's 6 mana. It's just going to be so bad against armor. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so Curious Wandercats. This is Deception, 3 mana. At the end of your turn, remove 3 durability from each relic, which is interesting. It's a 4/3 and it's in Deception, so you can play it and hide it and get multiple turns of value. If you can keep this on the board, it's going to give Relic War a hard time. I don't hate it. There's been kind of a lot of class-specific relic removal, kind of in the past set and a half, 2 sets. So I think it's interesting. I don't know if it makes it into every hidden rush list, but yeah, Counterfeit's just so good. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an option. 4 mana neutral, Rain Napper. It's a 4/3 roar, obliterate a creature with mana cost 3 or less. Afterlife, summon a base copy of that creature for its controller. Okay, so Blade of Whiteplane is a 5 mana 3/3 that can almost do the same with no downside, upside actually. So this is going to get through almost the same things that Blade can get through, except if your opponent has Lifesander Spear, they buff their Pyramid Warden, and they throw Canonize on it, this will still be good, right? You can still obliterate it, and after the Rain Napper dies, they get their 2/6 Pyramid Warden back, whereas the Blade wouldn't be able to get through a buffed creature. So it's interesting, and it's less expensive and has a better stat line, even though I think 3/4 would have been just so much better than 4/3. Doesn't matter. It's maybe not, right? Because then 3/4 gets eaten by Blade. So maybe it's interesting. I don't know if it's great yet, but I don't think it's horrible. Just with the amount of buffing, like this deals with Dagon, this deals with the gross Pyramid Warden. Yeah, deals with stuff. Thundercaller, right? Like it can help you get board back from a snowballing board. Okay, anyway, next card, Spirit Storm. Trigger the afterlife of each friendly creature. This is a 2 mana rare death spell. Yikes. I understand why Over the Line is 6 mana now, because if it were 5, it would be too much. think this is really strong, especially even 6 mana over the line, doesn't matter. You won't be able to play the combo till turn 6, but you can put more survival cards. You don't need Thanatars. I mean, you can still have them, but I think you can make the list a lot more budget friendly, and you don't even necessarily need Rock Drakes. Like maybe a tiny bit of ramp. I mean, but you can, right? You probably still run Rock Drakes because you're still filling your hand up. Saris, like, right, something to heal you that's not going to reduce the amount of mana you have unlocked. But this is good. That's really good. I mean, this triggers sleep, this triggers draw, this triggers ramp, this triggers everything. Death has so many death rattles. Death rattles. Afterlife effects. I think this is really good. I feel like it could get played quite a bit, and it's super versatile. Like, you don't, it's only 2 mana. It doesn't cost a lot, and you're not actually killing anything on the board. Which could, I mean, it could be bad, right? You leave things up to be levied, or yeah. So, or you ghost or whatever transformed. Maybe that's technically a downside, but it's still something that your opponent has to deal with that you've gotten value out of. I think it's pretty interesting. I feel like it could be a secondary win condition. Maybe you don't run 2, maybe you just run 1. But there can definitely be a combo deck put together just around this card. It's really interesting. Okay, and last but not least, Palace's Wanderwagon. 4 mana 3/6. Frontline. After a spell is cast, swap this creature's strength and health. So that's interesting. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be more of a downside. Like, what I'm more impressed with is the fact that it is 4 mana, it has frontline, and it's a 3/6. That's really good. And the fact that you can swap its health and attack, maybe you can put it in a tempo list. Maybe not a tempo list, but maybe like a faster magic list. And I mean, there aren't a lot of classes that can deal with a 3/6 pipped out on turn 3. I wonder, for instance, if it's a 3/6, I play Canopy Barrage, does it swap before the damage procs? Because if it does, this is kind of awful. If it procs after, it could be okay, just as far as like where it is, mana-wise and stat line. Although the fact that your opponent can swap the health and strength, they can definitely take advantage of that. But it's interesting. I don't know if it's broken. I felt like the reindeer spell was pretty overtuned. Okay, so that's what I was able to find on the Winter Wonderland set. It's interesting, I think. Maybe a few of the cards are a tiny bit overtuned, but I'm curious to see how big the set actually is and how we go about getting it. If it's just going to be kind of another stint on trying to sell Mortal Judgment packs, or if we'll actually be able to have like a longer earn period over Weekend Ranked where we can actually get packs that way. Anyway, I will do my best to keep you informed. I hope you had a good weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye, friends.